wanted to talk to you again about, just navigating your assignments in general real quick. Um, so basically, this is what Google Classroom looks like when you log in. You have your different classes. This page is helpful for like a big idea of what's due, but I feel like kids miss things if they don't click into their individual classes. Like if we have something that we didn't put a due date in for yet, but it is under the work for this week, for instance, you won't see it here. So you want to click M21, Music M21. And again, oh look, I'm getting fancy. Please don't turn it in until after this meeting. Up top, you're going to click classwork. So once you've clicked classwork, again, you're going to see it organized by week because I thought that would be better for your brains to, focus on everything. We have an extra credit opportunity that's coming up soon. But good. Okay. People are still coming in. I'm going to take a picture of the attendance at the end before I dismiss you as well. So you're going to see an extra credit opportunity at the top, and then you're going to see the work for this week. If you did not do last week's work, you're way behind. I'm not really giving credit for last week's project unless there's like some crazy circumstances. We are in the middle of a global pandemic. So if you were like dealing with funeral things, obviously, I'm going to be lenient with that. But otherwise, unless there's like crazy tech issues happening or, like stuff we've been talking about, it really needs to have been done. But right here, we have that I put a checklist. Hold on, people are coming on. I'm sorry, I'm stalling because I see names popping up. So there's a checklist. You have an ed puzzle with the video directions. You have me now giving you video directions and answering questions. And then you have like the project. So, all right, Matt, I'm going to ask you to pick a spot and stay there. How about that? Thank you so much, buddy. All right. You're just going like nuts. Yeah, tips for Zoom. Hold still. So I'm going to go in and show you the checklist first, and then I'm going to really jump. Oh, I moved it. And then I'm going to really jump into this whole project 2. I'm going to show you step by step how you're going to do it. So this checklist is going to help you from getting set up with my class because this class was great. I'm very impressed with 6th grade, but there are still about 6 of you who haven't even joined my class yet. And I'm really worried about your souls right now. So I'm going to start calling your house to make sure everything's okay. Like you're still, with us. So you do need to join my class. You're going to click join our class link that I put in Google Classroom. You're going to create an account by logging in. You're going to sign in with your Google account, the school one. You're going to type your first name and last name in place of the automatically generated username. You're going to click the project 1 title. You're going to scroll down. You're going to click on start from assignment. So it's a lot of steps to getting connected. If you haven't done project 1, you need to follow the steps for project 1 to complete project 2. So just jump in at project 2, please. Here's all the directions typed out. If you are someone who English isn't your native language and you want to translate that, that's fine. You would go up to tools and translate document, and it'll take the whole thing and put it in the language that you read most proficiently in. So again, I'm going to say that one more time. If this isn't working for you and like your native language is, for instance, Spanish, and you would prefer to read in Spanish because you read better in that language, you're going to click tools and you're going to click translate document, and it'll take the whole thing and put it into the language that you would prefer to be reading in. So with this, if you want to check off the checklist, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can place an X next to it. I don't really care. That's the easy way. If you hate that, you can 2-finger click or right mouse click on the little bullet point and you can click a check mark. But see how it took everything? You're going to need to double click on the one that you want and then do it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. You don't have to do it that way. You could like just put an X next to it, whatever works for you. So hopefully, I hope Malachi can hear. Malachi, can you say yes? Hopefully, he might be reconnecting. So you're going to go through all of this and check off all these steps, and I'm going to give you a grade for checking off the steps just to make sure that you've done what you needed to do. Now let's talk about how to complete the project. I'm logged in. I'm going to pretend I'm an 8th grader right now because I made fake projects helping kids, but then I realized I should have left one open for demonstrating today. But if I go in as an 8th grader, you go in and click the grade that you're in, and then I click project 2, I'm going to be given the option to start my assignment. In these directions, it tells me to watch the Edpuzzle video. Please watch it first and complete it, or you can do it at the same time, but please don't turn in a project with no Edpuzzle turned in and then wonder why I sent it back, because obviously you didn't follow any directions. And I do also want you using the graph in Google Classroom. So over here, under the project, I've included this screenshot for you to follow. It has the bar markers across the bottom, the number of loops for each section of bar markers, and it's labeled your music energy level, because also in Google Classroom, I've included, sorry for the delay as it loads extremely slowly, but I've also included the rubric. This is how I'm going to be grading you. Do you have 5 tracks? Did you follow my energy level grid? Do you have the sections divided at the right bar markers? Did you name your tracks? Are your tracks actually lined up, or are they like kind of over to the side and it sounds crazy? And is it creative? Does it sound good? So that you are almost guaranteed to score high in, as long as you didn't copy the example and you use all the loops within the same loop pack. So like that's kind of like your freebie 5 points. It should be fine. And I mean, like 5 tracks should be freebie 5 points. Like you should have 5 tracks. It should be easy. So that's how I'm grading you. That chart I have pulled up behind because I'm going to be flipping back and forth to it. I suggest that you do the same. I'm going to model how you create your project today. And literally, I'm going to talk you through what you should be doing. So now that you're on this project, you're going to click Start Assignment. Then you're going to click Teacher's Assignment so that you don't have to worry about attaching it at the end. You can't click from Personal Project unless you've already done your project. All right. I'm going to just very, very quickly recreate project 1 so that we have something to work with. And if you're someone who didn't do project 1, this is going to help you. So I'm going to do Party Pop. I think that's going to be easy to work with. Yeah. And I'm sharing my computer sound with you. So as I press play on things, you're going to hear it. You might need to turn down a little bit right now just so that it's not like crazy. So real quick, I'm going to pick a drum, a hi-hat, a bass. I'm going to pick music 1 and music 2. Oh my God, I love you so much, Amelie, taking notes. You're the best. I'm also going to post this video, especially because I know a lot of people are attending. That just made me so happy. I just had to say something. All right, so moving on. I need a drum and a hi-hat. Let's start there. Beat. Those have drums and hi-hats in them. I kind of would like to have it separate. I see hi-hats, so I feel like there should be a really good drum beat at some point. Maybe weekend block beat. That's better. It still has the hi-hat in it, but I'm gonna grab weekend blocks beat. Sorry if that like blew out your ears and your headphones. It had a lot of bass, a lot of bass drum. So when I did that, I kind of missed. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't put it right in the box, so it didn't start loading in. There it goes. All right, so, and then you see I dragged it over to the side because you're getting graded on whether or not things are aligned correctly. So it does need to be all the way to the left. I'm now going to pick a hi-hat. That's simple. That's too much. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this one. I think you can agree with me. The one was like hype. So whenever that loads, I might have to do it again. It's a little bit glitchy. And that's annoying. Shh. No. Shh. All right. So the first thing that you can see is it's not big enough, but I'm going to leave that for later. I need bass. Sure, why not? Excellent. Thank you so much. Weekend block bass. Because it's not the weekend, but we can all pretend it is. All right, so then I'm going to see weekend. Now I need 2 melodies. I see that one says melody and one says brass lead. So I'm going to pick one melody and one brass lead. Oh, no. Why not? I don't know if these are going to sound good together, but we're going to try. Grab it, please. Bring it here. Thank you. All right. And again, we always want to bring everything right to the beginning, and I'm going to pick a brass lead. I don't know if I want those. I feel like it's too busy. I kind of want like chords. Yeah, that's so much better. Stop making sound. Good. All right. So that was most of project 1. You also need to make sure everything goes to bar marker 5. So you do that by clicking on it and dragging in the upper right hand corner. So that little circle arrow. I'm going to do the same thing here. And your project 1 should look like this. One giant chunk of loops that is all lined up nice and neat. But I missed a step. The first person to type in the chat what step I missed is going to get 2 bonus points on this project. What step did I miss from project 1? First person to type it gets 2 bonus points from this project. Yep, Malachi got it. 1 second before Jacob, sorry. I know, close call. So I need to rename my tracks. So again, just like the video, yeah, my computer's running kind of slow. Sorry, thank you for all bearing with me. So I got drums, hi-hat. I don't really care about the S's at the end. If you put drum instead of drums, you're not losing points. That would be stupid. Okay, so you got bass, music 1, and music 2. And I'm going to do a step I did not do earlier. I'm just going to check and make sure it sounds good together. And it actually does for the first time in like the 17 times I've done this project. All right, so that's project 1. For project 2, you're going to kind of want to clean things up for yourself. I'm going to do that. Sorry, I have like 100 windows up because Zoom's crazy. Oh, Lord. Okay, no, I clicked on right here. You're going to want to get rid of the loops on the side. I'm going to click at the bottom where it says loops, and look how refreshing that is to have less nonsense happening on your screen. You also are going to want to click this minus sign to zoom out so that you can see bar marker 33. You can zoom in a little bit, but for this first step, I want you to be able to see that. So I'm going to take all of my loops by clicking that little circle arrow, and I'm going to stretch them all out to bar marker 33, all the way. And then we're going to kind of, like he said, we're going to be sculptors, and we're going to chop out, oh, no, I missed. We're going to chop out chunks of our loops so that, you know, like we start with it all there, and then we take out a little bit at a time. All right, so now that I've stretched this out, I'm going to show you your assignment brief. I don't know if you guys know this is here, but at the bottom where it says assignment brief, the project directions are there. I can only type so much. It's brief, you know, but it's going to show you your different sections, and that's going to be very useful to you. So let's take a look at the diagram that I shared with you. Right here from bars 1 to 5, bar markers 1 to 5, it's the first 4 bars, not the first 5. It says that I need to have only 1 loop. So I'm going to start, I don't like starting with the drums, but you can. I like starting with like one of the melody ones. I like starting with just a little bit. So how I'm going to change this to get rid of all the other ones and leave just sprinkle FM chords is that I'm going to take my bar marker and move it to 5, the end of my range. And then I'm going to click on the tracks I don't want. And then I have a couple options to split it. I can 2-finger click or right mouse click, depending on your device. And I can click slice, or I can click on it and click this little, this means slice in the corner. Or I could be exceptionally lazy, take exactly 1 finger and press the S button on my keyboard. I don't really care what you do. My favorite, I'm doing it this way so that you can see, but my favorite is just click S, click S. So now that I've cut them, and if you have questions at any time, please ask them in the chat. The chat's just for questions today. Then I'm going to go in and I have a couple options to delete out the part I don't want. I can 2-finger click / right mouse click on the part I don't want, and I can click delete, or I can click on it and I can click the backspace or delete key on my device. I can also click on it and click, maybe not, no, I can't do it any other way. Those are your choices. All right, so I'm gonna leave just that little bit at the beginning, but then I need to go back to my chart to see what to do next. I'm at bar markers 5 to 9, and I need to have 1, 2 loops, because 2 loops, bar marker 5. We're kind of like, you know, reading a chart, which is math, and that's okay. I'm not sure what you mean by clicking loop at the bottom. Is that what you mean? You can't click loop, Jacob, or no? Okay. Well, you can clarify for me and then I can answer your question. So I'm going to now move my bar marker, my little playhead, over to bar marker 9, and I need 2 loops. I kind of want to keep something the same each time. So I'm going to keep this, but then I'm going to add in my melody. I think that purple, that light fuchsia looking box. So again, I'm going to click, slice each track, or slice each loop. The track's the, you know, like the train track it's on. And then I'm going to go in and delete. Did you click on it first? So like you click on it to highlight it, then it should appear. And then I'm going to click delete. I'm going to kind of show you different ways that I like doing it this way because you can see the delete on your screen. I just like pressing delete though. All right. Oh, mistakes were made. I don't want to delete that. So actually, let me redo that. Oh no, not that. So I'm going to redo what I just did. I deleted that out. You don't need to panic. Up in the upper right corner, upper left corner, you're going to see a little undo arrow, or Command Z, Control Z, depending on your device, is going to bring it back. Just like if you're in a Google Doc and you delete something. So I'm going to undo that. So now you're going to hear the beginning of my composition where like it starts to layer in things. I'm going to stop right there. Can't let all the cats out of the bag right away. So then I'm going to go back. I did this one. I could check it off, but then I'm going to have to delete it. And I did this one. I did 5 to 9 with my 2 loops. And then from 9 to 13, I need 3 loops. So now I'm going to move my bar marker to 13. And I need 1, 2, 3 loops. I'm just like stacking them. I'm being extraordinarily lazy with this process, but I want to save the drums for last. There's a real reason. So I'm going to add in my bass next. I'm going to click up in my drum track. I'm going to slice it. I'm going to slice my hi-hat track, and then I'm going to go in and delete. Now I can see with my hi-hat that it resplit itself. That's normal. The loops are a certain length, and sometimes it'll split them in the middle if you split them at the end. So I do need to delete out both. So now I'm gonna have you listen up through measure like 12. On your side, I know I am on my side, a little bit of crackling while that plays. That, just ignore that. It won't like transfer to any mix downs that you have. That's just like BandLab being a little laggy with the audio. They chose to like, you know, lower the quality so that it'll still play consistently. So we're going to move into our next section. I did up to 13. So now 13 to 17, again, let me go back to my chart. 13 to 17 should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. It does, because I'm sort of, like cutting away. I can move my bar marker to 17 now. All right. Now from 17 to 21, it's going to drop down. See how I cut out 3? You need to cut out at least 2 loops, but I'm going to drop it down to just 2 loops. I think I'm going to have it be like the bass, and I don't even know, like the bass and one other one. I don't know. I'm going to figure out that right now. So I'm going to solo my bass, and then I'm going to solo it with music too. Maybe that'll sound good. I don't know. I think maybe I want to cut out, because that green loop's been going this whole time. Maybe I want to get rid of that. I'm going to try with like the hi-hat and see how that sounds. I kind of like that. I'm going to just try it with the drum too. Because I like that bass loop and kind of want to, like, hear it a little more. So right here, by the way, I'm clicking the S for solo. The M is for mute. If you want to hear it without something, if like something sounds weird and you can't figure out what it is, mute them one at a time and listen. Oh no, that's definitely what I want. I'm going to want to keep the drum and the bass there. So again, I go to bar marker 17 where I just was. So I'm dealing with 17 to 21 because I'm cutting out a section. I need to cut before and I need to cut after to be able to take out the middle. So I'm going to cut the hi-hat because I decided I'm keeping red and like dark purple, however we want to, word that. And I'm going to cut everything else, slice, not cut, sorry. And I'm going to move it to 21. And I'm going to go in and slice them, sorry, on the other side. Let me show you that I'm slicing. So I'm just going in and slicing, and I see this green one split in half. Doesn't matter. You're just going to go in and delete. I know this takes more time, but at least it shows you what I'm doing. Delete out the middle. Awesome. And now I'm going to move on. I'm not even going to listen. I'll leave it be a surprise from here on out. So now I'm at bar marker 21. I need to go back to my chart. 21 to 25. I have all 5 back in. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to tell you a secret right now that it doesn't say on the assignment. You don't necessarily have to bring them all back in if you think that that's a little too much. You could bring in all but one because we just need to be able to increase the energy and then decrease it through the end. So I'm going to clear that. I'm going to come back over here. And from 21 to 25, I think I'm going to bring in everything but the chords through the end. No, I don't know. I will bring them all back in, I think. So now I'm at 21 to 25. I have all 5 of my loops. At 25 to 29, I need 1, 2, 3 loops. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. I want to keep my drums in. And I think I'm going to get rid of the bass now that I showcased it earlier. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to slice it. And since I'm going to be cutting things out, I'm going to just delete this whole block through the rest of my song. So that's gone now. I'm not bringing it back in. Let's take a look. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at measures 25 to 29. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I should probably get rid of one more. So I'm going to get rid of the hi-hat. The hi-hat doesn't really, I don't really love it. So I'm going to slice it and the hi-hat's gone now. That's it. Sorry, I'll show you that I'm deleting it. All right. So now I'm down to 1, 2, 3. Now my last section is 29 to 33. Let me drag this to 29. I have 1, 2, 3 tracks, but I should actually have either 2 or 1 track. So right here it says 2. I'm okay with it being 1. It's up to you. You just need to lower the energy. So I'm going to go in and get rid of my my drum, because I think that that'll bring down the energy. It's a very energetic drum. I'm going to delete it out, and I'm going to play my whole composition for you now. So we start out nice and low with the energy. Sorry about my streaming. Good, the bandwidth's catching up. A little more. A little bit more energy. That nice cutaway section. We're going to slowly bring it down. And as annoying as that was to listen to with all the crackling and the delay with BandLab, it actually didn't delay at all, which is good. You can still hear, like, I added in and then reached a high point, then I cut it away, built it back up, and then let it like really fizzle out at the end. Are there any questions about any of that? I'm gonna post the video if it's like, you know, I just couldn't keep up the whole time, but you'll be able to rewatch it. You can also watch what he did. No questions? I'm not seeing anything pop up. All right, excellent. So I'm going to now talk a little bit about how to turn this in now that it's complete. I will not click these things right now because I don't want to, you know, have to go delete it all out then. But you're going to click save along the way. Every time you do something that you like, I want you to click save, just because, you know, what if you lose internet? What if it doesn't submit correctly? You can do the same exact thing with a different loop pack, and I really could care less. That's fine, Aliana. That's a great question. The reason why I'm giving you these video tutorials is to give you a tool set, and we're really building our tool set right now, especially in 6th grade. So as long as you're, you know, like doing the thing, even if like your blocks look the same, but it's a different loop pack, that's okay. Especially if you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with this, it's fine. But just don't use the same loop pack as you know, like the one that I just used maybe, and the one from the video. There's tons to choose from. You know, if you use the same loop pack, yeah, you use different loops. but you know, you don't copy it exactly, but it is a guide and you are allowed to follow step by step. That's a really good question. Thank you so much for asking that. Because some people think like, no, it's too cheaty if they're like following step by step, but I actually just want you to build competencies. So like, that's valid. Back to saving. Once you've saved, you are then going to click submit. I'm not going to do it now, but well, I can click the first time. So you're going to get a thing to say, save your work. You can leave me a little love note there, whatever. And then you'll click submit again, just like in Google Classroom. It asks you if you actually want to submit. I'm not submitting. In fact, I'm not saving at all because I'm going to do this again in about 15 minutes. It's like really upset with me for not saving, but that's pretty much it. You're going to check off the checklist as you go, follow the videos, double check that chart about 7,000 times to make sure that you're doing it correctly.